You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, everyone. This is Giles Edwards, and you're listening to and possibly also watching Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast. I am joined today by Pete Trbovich in front of a gloriously colorful backdrop. And once more, with pleasure, L. Rob Hubbard and his array of memorabilias and DVDs looming over his shoulder. We have no Greg Smalley this week. He is once again off on a top secret mission, and we wish him a safe return home. Meanwhile, we'll be discussing a number of things with you, especially if I can share my screen quickly. Any of you guys up to anything fun this month related to movies or otherwise?
I think next week in Lawrence, Kansas, is the annual Free State Festival. It starts Tuesday, 24th, and goes through Sunday. So I'll be helping out there, and also introducing a couple of Kevin Wilmot films on the Saturday. So
that's cool. Glad to, okay, so I can allow participants to share screen. Man, I guess I should have done one more thing before I started this meeting. I don't suppose any of you know where the share screen button is hidden on these. Here's a start share. Let's try that.
Okay. I don't even think I have a share screen. Okay. It should be at the
yeah, I think I am
bottom between
there. Here we go. This is going to be very exciting. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that image. I'm not going to do the fancy Greg thing where he shows all of them at once because I'm already pushing my luck here. So we're going to start with I believe this is let's start with this one. This one looked very exciting and is active now, I believe, at, let's see, this has been released. We've got a review for it, but would one of you care to quickly describe what we're looking at here? Let's go with Pete.
Okay. Alma the Wolf. It's written in red bloody letters on a stark black and white background with a snarling wolf in the picture. And a forest setting. That's about the long and short of it.
That is about the long and short of it. Although from what I've read in the trailer I watched, there should be some dreaminess to this. There should be absurdity to this. There's going to be violence and romance, there's a lot more comedy.
The first 3 seconds of the trailer, I'm watching it going, oh, another werewolf movie. And then I start seeing a whole bunch of other stuff happening. And that's to say nothing of our other animated feature also on our list.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this goes beyond. This involves, like, I think it's got a Asian slant to it. It's kind of like with one actress. They're kind of maybe following Asian interpretation of folklore and stuff. So it appears there's some kind of medicine man, witch doctor type figure, or whatever their translation of that is in the film. For one thing, okay.
Yeah, no, I can dig that. Sounds good. You watched the trailer? Any thoughts, Rob?
Watch the trailer. It's the actors Ethan Embry. The main actress she's the actress in Sinners, and I do not have her name directly in front of me. It looks a little. So yeah, from the trailers, at first glance, it looks like it's going to be your typical werewolf thing, but this sort of gives the impression that there's something a little bit more. They're kind of keeping the mystery open, and the review that I read of it was fairly oblique in not giving anything away, but it looks pretty good. The wolf is kind of dodgy looking, but you can't really tell anything from trailers. And there's probably and anymore, everybody will say it's dodgy. there's probably a good reason for that. So
there could well be. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. Might have one of our intrepid reviewers check it out at some point. Something we've already checked out and enjoyed, but is now being released, I believe, in one of them, their 4K kind of modes. Rob, would you quickly describe what I believe is a extended cover or a cover of a Blu-ray inside a slipcover?
okay, what I am seeing is a portrait of a man's head above this title, A Different Man. It's about a youngish man, I would say in his 30s, kind of coiffed. And it seems that this is a poster because there are odd folds across his face, sort of giving a, I don't want to say sinister, but I don't want to say a sinister thing, but there's definitely something not right about it.
Irregularity there.
Okay. And then under that is the title, A Different Man, and under that, the names of the cast. And from A24.
All right, yes. A24 has put A Different Man, which was reviewed by our very own Greg Smalley. We're looking at about 8 or 9 months ago now. Recommended, but capsule status. It stars of the two men who are different. The Adam Pearson, who has appeared in previous Aaron Schimberg, the director of this, a impressively different looking fellow, and the main character is Sebastian Stan, who starts out with the same genetic affliction as this fellow, has surgery, and his life falls apart once he, quote, gets fixed. So we've got a review up, and that can be checked out, and we may well link it, but we'll certainly link the A24 release of this movie, that is HD Blu-ray, and a handful of bonus features, including commentary with writer-director Aaron Schimberg and stars Sebastian Stan and Adam Pearson. That would probably be fascinating. I know I had an interview with Aaron Schimberg about Chain for Life, and he was a very pleasant person to talk to. And 6 collectible postcards. I always like the little analog bonuses that can come with certain special features. So this looks good, looks thorough, and it's a fine motion picture. Any thoughts, Pete, before we dive on to something else?
Really, when I see the spec on this one, I mean, the whole thing is is this the one with the guy that's disfigured? He has the disease, the condition that's disfigured his face. Yeah, so it kind of has that flavor. It reminds me of things like Elephant Man or Mask, the one in the 1980s with Cher.
Not the mid-90s with Jim Carrey?
No, not that one. No. That's the first one everybody says. If you just look up Mask, though, it's what is 1985 with Cher and the one playing the son with a genetic condition, Eric Stoltz, and Fam Elliott's in it too. Anyway, that's a movie that reminds me of this, but
and this also has some doppelgangery things going on, so definitely weird movie adjacent, and you can now check it out in a delightful edition from A24. And we will shuffle forward to this sort of cloudy image. Pete, why don't you tell us what's going on in this little scene that we can observe here?
Well, wait. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an animated feature, and I'm seeing a very foggy or misty village scene with a couple of structures and a couple of characters in it. One of them, however, I can barely make it out because it's like the size of a postage stamp.
Let's see if I can fix that.
And having seen the trailer on this, I know the woman in stocks is not the only kinky thing going on.
That's a little larger, I think.
If you saw the trailer, did you see that last shot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, damn, what? That's not something you see every day, but I'm not even going to say anything more about it.
Okay,
so there's a couple of people in stocks, and I guess a guy looking over
Yeah. All told,
DP.
looks nice and gloomy, and it's a cartoon, and so that means I'm already 90% interested in watching it anyway. And actually, of the, geez, seven of the eight things here, I somehow forgot to see the trailer for this, so it sounds like I'm in for a nice surprise when I finally check that out and make it to the end for that final shot you've been smiling over. So that'll be
Okay. All right. Enjoy.
I swear, I know about the other things we're talking about here. So
This
that
title is Dog of God.
Dog of God is correct. And let's see if we got anything that. Oh yeah, that was I believe brought to our attention by L. Rob Hubbard. This is set to premiere at Tribeca. So that will be. Let's see, here we go. Created with rotoscope animation, Dog of God is set in the 17th century and focuses on a woman accused of witchcraft and how her trial uncovers the existence of a werewolf. The footage includes a
Another
scene.
werewolf.
Yeah, so we're working on a theme here. Footage includes a scene in which a Hitler lookalike is tortured. Well, so sounds like it's got a lot going for it. I wish it well at the festival run. But that does suggest it'll be probably a bit before we're able to talk about this in any video on demand kind of way. So we'll move forward.
Probably the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's near or far, depending upon how things go. But keeping with our wolf and dog and thing, here's a picture that I guess, Rob, your turn. Tell us what are we looking at here?
Okay, we are looking at it looks as though we're in a room which is decorated. It seems like for a celebration. I would say like a birthday celebration. There are balloons all over the floor. Lights. In the middle, we have what appears to be two girls. I would assume that they're sisters because there is sort of a resemblance between the two. Stand Standing, arms at sides, fairly expressionless. There to our left is a man with a guitar, apparently in the midst of playing a song. I would assume that so this particular scene is that they're getting ready to sing something, being a celebration. And there is, and I guess if my memory is correct, said they are about to perform something.
They are in celebration. Yeah, that's. I haven't seen this movie, but I'm going to say that is probably a good word in a number of ways for it. This is a still from the Canonically Weird, a movie that's been canonically weird since early 2011. So over 15 years of being part of the canon. This is a still from Dogtooth, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. And the plot here is you got family, three kids.
It's a documentary about how to raise the ideal family.
That Pete said it best. I don't think I can add to that.
Yeah.
So check that out. Why are we bringing this to your attention? I'm sure we've got a good reason. Oh yes, I believe there is a new 4K release for this that has been dropped by Kino Lorber. For the time being, it is zipping around various cinemas that may well not be near you, but things like the IFC, Beverly Theater, Playhouse, River Oaks. There's a website that we will give you a link to, and you might luck out and be able to see Yorgos Lanthimos' Dogtooth from 2009 in super duper high resolution at a cinema, which strongly suggests, especially since this is from Kino Lorber, this will eventually be available to own at home on disc. So Dogtooth is coming back, baby, and it's looking better than ever. All right, so that's Dogtooth. Here we go. I'll have another thing here. Quick description of this, Pete, if you don't mind.
For all the world, this looks like two hunters in the woods sharing a coffee and a donut, perhaps. Two men in parkas, one looking older and more middle-aged and perhaps of a bit, Cyrillic or Serbian or Russian. And then the other fellow, more American Marlboro man
Oh yeah.
in a different jacket, and they appear to be outdoors anyway.
Yeah. This is what looks like a happier moment between these two from everything I've read about the film
Relatively
that this is
speaking.
from. This is a widely used promotional still for the motion picture Friendship, which came out in theaters recently and is now streaming at least on Amazon, which I suspect is the first step toward being ownable on physical media. Greg reviewed it, said it had its merits. Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd acquit themselves nicely, and is definitely, as comedies go, a bit odd, but as weird movies go, a bit normal. So that is now available to a wider audience for your awkward enjoyment with perhaps a friend. Now we're going to go to a little slightly different news here. This was the best graphic I could dig up for this. What do we see here, Rob?
We see so to the left, we see a portrait of a young woman smiling at us, backgrounded by a forest of pine. It's a fairly recognizable graphic because the person in question is Laura Palmer. Which makes sense because this is a graphic for Twin Peaks: Conversation with the Stars North America tour from August to November of this year.
Yeah, let's see. News from The Hollywood Reporter. Stars of the surreal mystery series will make 18 stops around the U.S. to discuss stories from in front of and behind the camera, with 2 events taking place at iconic series locations. So this looks like it's going to include, let's see if I can dig in some names. Ray Wise, Harry Goes, Kimmy Robertson, and the Twin Peaks return executive producer Sabrina Sutherland, and looks like some other information. So this looks like it's going to be a nice memorial bit for the late, great David Lynch, who passed away not too long ago. And we will be providing you a link to the fairly extensive Hollywood Reporter article that we have gathered this information from. So let's see. I got a little poster here with some locations for those who are going to luck out. There, it looks like 2 spots in Virginia, 2 spots in New Jersey, 1 spot in New York, some Connecticut, Rhode Island, Colorado, Massachusetts, Idaho, Arizona, California, triple Washington State, and then 1 or 2 other places scattered about. So you might be within a day's car ride.
I think Denver would be closest for me and Pete if we were so inclined. So.
Yeah. So that is happening. That is happening this fall, which means wherever it's happening, it's going to look, early August through second half of October are the tour dates for this exciting event here. So again, we will have the link for you, and hopefully 1 or more of you will be able to check it out and tip us off about what kind of things we're going down there. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going back to the world of motion pictures. Once I click through my windows, here we go. I think I found where I need to be. So Laura Palmer, we're certainly not seeing the last of you, but Pete, here's a stylish little vignette for you to
You're
tell us
giving
about.
me the fun one now. Okay, all right. Very gothic scene, plenty of candles. Yeah, every time I see this many, I'm thinking, who had to go around and light all those candles? All these. Oh, anyway. And a gal and a man talking to each other. The man's brandishing a gun, and wearing a backpack and looking like he's made up in a vaguely military-esque outfit. And he is confronting a woman who is standing in a gothic-looking mansion with some portraits and vaguely make-outable details. Make-outable. I can vaguely make it out. And but anyway, there's a great deal of either fog or spider webs or Vaseline on the camera lens, whatever is making it a little blurry here. So
it's making it atmospheric, or maybe it's the smoke from all those candles.
yeah.
This is the still from Waves of Madness, which was completed a few months ago by a person we've had the pleasure of chatting with. Let me dig up his name, because I know the last name is Trost. You don't forget a last name like that. And I'm pretty sure it's J-Tro. Yeah, he goes by J-Tro. So J Trost has brought us The Waves of Madness. Some of you may know J Trost for the various FP post-apocalyptic Dance Dance Revolution style outings.
Okay, that's where I knew the name was familiar, and I could not place it. Giles, you're going to be doing a review of this in the future, right?
I have ordered the collector's edition, which I've been assured is on its way, but it's on its way from Australia. And I believe it only started its trip a few days ago. So I've gone ahead and splashed down to give Mr. Trost even more money. I've rented this as well, which you can too on Amazon. And you can also get the non-collector's edition, but still very fine copy on Blu-ray, Waves of Madness. And so that is going to be a fun little treat for me later. I remember when he first talked about it back when we chatted with him, probably well over maybe a year or more ago now. This is going to be cinema's first side-scrolling action movie. So got some
about that.
Got some 80s, early 90s video game inspirations here. Obviously, it's called Waves of Madness. And so that will say, there's some Lovecraft stuff that's going to be going on here, black and white. And I've been following the production of this for a while, as the filmmaker has been posting on various social medias. But Umbrella Entertainment has, for your entertainment, on Blu-ray and streamable, The Waves of Madness, side-scrolling supernatural adventure.
And
I will say,
just to clear this up, this is about some people who disappeared on a boat, is it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's I will say, I remember reading about this like some weeks ago, and it's still streaming, so I actually did kind of like break down and watch this last night. And since you're going to eventually review this, I don't want to kind of give a lot away. It's interesting because it's kind of like these low budget films, like the Winans have done, the people who did Ink and the latest one, and kind of Hundreds of Beaver Skies. And that it's like very ambitious, low budget, and kind of like using the video game aesthetic to it. The best way to say it, it's kind of like a Lovecraftian Deep Rising. If you know the movie.
I mean, I was sold before, but Deep Rising is.
It's fun. I will say this without giving anything away. It's fun and way better than I expected. Some of the acting is, but you know.
Well, I will bear your thoughts in mind when I give what will doubtless be as even-handed a review as I possibly can. I, of course, have the tremendous personal disadvantage in that I generally like to like movies, which makes me sometimes question why I'm in the movie review business. But that said, I'll be giving this a look and a write-up, and it is out now in various forms for your enjoyment for Lovecraftian Deep Rising side-scrolling action adventure on a boat.
I need to see the FP now.
The fourth, I've only seen the fourth one. It was a massive amount of fun.
There's 4 now?
There,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
FP for Evs is the one I reviewed, and
I'm so behind. Okay.
well, they're all on YouTube, so you can watch them there with tiny fraction of ad revenue going straight to Mr. Trost's pocket. All right, we got one final thing. I believe this was also brought to our attention by L. Rob Hubbard. So I'll say, Rob, describe these 2 figures, one of which is obviously superimposed over the other.
Okay. We have a kind of like yellow sky in the background. On the left side is a silhouetted figure. Appears to be teetering on the edge of some sort of ledge, almost about to fall. And to the right of that, superimposed, is Francis Ford Coppola. And this graphic kind of makes a lot of sense because it relates to Meg-op-o-lis.
That's right.
Which I guess, God, I'm sorry. I was going to make a joke regarding falling off a ledge, but no.
That's all right.
But we're still, some months later, we're still talking about Meg-op-o-lis. There is, along with Twin Peaks touring, Coppola is going to be touring with Meg-op-o-lis to cities, various cities this summer. Let me find that. It's called An Evening with Francis Ford Coppola and Meg-op-o-lis, which includes a discussion about how to change our future. And let me see. It's going to 6 different cities to screen the film, and then after the screening, he'll participate in what's called an interactive discussion with the audience about the theme of how to change our future. I'm guessing that might be via Zoom or something, but I don't know. What else it says? So if you have not seen Meg-op-o-lis yet, this is another opportunity to do so, and to even lobbying remarks to Mr. Coppola, depending on your feelings about the film.
Pete, did you ever end up seeing Megalopolis?
No, I didn't, and I was hoping to see it on streaming, and then I found out he wanted to hold it back from streaming. This is probably why. As I understand it, I read the press release on this too, and apparently he's drawing a parallel between the fall of the Roman Empire and Western civilization now.
Yeah, that would be that's
right?
the thematic through line for that movie that I.
All right, I'm dying to see it just so I can see what is in this movie that throws everybody into such a tizzy. But
it's that's right, because I think Greg, Rob, and we have a triple shot review up since we all saw this around the same time and we all wrote about it, and all seemed to inclined in its favor because it is unlike most any contemporary movie I've seen. Because you got a guy throwing hundreds of millions of his own dollars to do what he wants, and he's a competent filmmaker. So you have an accomplished filmmaker. Let me make it clear, I'm not just saying Coppola is a competent guy, but
I will say, there's no streaming. There was a release, home video release planned for North America, which got dropped. My assumption is that because he was going to do this, I assume that maybe after this there may indeed be a US disc release coming.
Oh, and it might include some of the conversations with Coppola on it.
Okay. There is overseas. There was a UK release, and I think a German and Italian release. I did spring for the UK disc, which is a 4K disc and Blu-ray, which has some interesting an introduction by Coppola, some interesting featurettes that go through the whole history of the production. There's documentary that filmmaker Mike Figgis shot during the production that uses some of the interview footage that he did. And that disc also comes with the scene-specific commentary by Coppola, which I haven't dug into yet. As soon as I do, I'll probably put an addendum up on the site. But back to this, it's 6 cities. Let's see, Red Bank, New Jersey, New York, Port Chester, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, in July. This whole tour kicks off July 20th. Let's see, Dallas, Texas, and the last date is going to be beginning of August in San Francisco. So.
Yep, and we'll have a link for this news generally, and we'll have those dates for those who want to brave the electronic lines of Ticketmaster to snag your seat to have a chance to see this again on the big screen and talk with the auteur who's behind it. And my bet is that for Christmas of 2026, we're going to see a massive everything mega release of this in all the best sound and all the best video quality with every single extra crammed into it as possible. And I also saw in the link article there, they're working on a graphic novel of this, which of course back in my day would be a comic, and I don't think there'd be any shame in that terminology, but well, everyone wants that extra bit of respect these days. So here we are. Megalopolis continues to be a passion project for the guy, unsurprisingly. And that, in one session, wraps up our Pod 366 post for you this week. Some exciting things coming in Tribeca, some good re-releases coming out, various tours of note, and all told, exciting summer ahead. In the weeks to come, we will probably be mentioning in hushed tones Fantasia as I prepare for my trip up north. And
yes, right.
so that's to look forward to. Any parting thoughts, Peter, Rob? You can always say.
For those of you who want to see something more, I do have my 10 Weird Moments series on video coming out. There's about 5 or 6 of them in production right now, and they're all lined up, and Greg's going to be releasing them on the channel once a week. So recently there was one for Being John Malkovich. The one I did before that was, of course, Nothing But Trouble. I figure I might as well live that one down. That's the one I recommended onto the list of the Vita Proof vote.
That was, yes, and Nothing But Trouble holds, I think, the singular honor of being reviewed once, being denied in a second review, and then appearing canonized in a third review. I don't think we've done that for any other movie. So,
well, you know, what is a Vita Proof vote for except to shake things up?
Exactly. Wonderful. Yeah. So the various 10 things as curated by Pete will be dropping weekly. Being John Malkovich coming up again
on the YouTube channel. That is.
Yes, that is true. So, and we heard updates from Rob at the start, but if that wraps it up, we can do this in a cool 35 minutes. So thank you all for watching and/or listening, and remember to like, subscribe. This has been Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast with Pete Trbovich, L. Rob Hubbard, and Giles Edwards. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.